My name is Melissa Echenique, and I am a senior at Immaculata LaSalle High School. Today I will be talking to you about the differences between the film adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird and its novel. I would like to begin by noting that it has become popular in recent culture to create film adaptations of widely beloved and popular books. And most people who have seen a film adaptation of a favorite novel will tell you this: the book was way better than the movie. In my opinion, To Kill a Mockingbird is no exception from that trend, mostly because every film has its creative casualties, its creative differences from its novel. The first main and major difference between the novel and the film is simply that. A novel is an abstract visual medium, whereas a film is a concrete visual medium. In a novel, you are required to imagine scenes and characters while you're reading words, whereas a film just shows you these scenes and these characters. Due to the concrete nature of film, this made it difficult for it to be narrated by Scout, the book's narrator. This change in narrator then led to a shift in focus. The movie tended to focus more on Jem than the novel ever did. However, this makes sense considering that almost everything Scout did was with Jem or related to him in some form. However, this only applies to the beginning because towards the end it starts focusing more on the trial, which is more in line with the book because the book did begin to focus more on the trial as it progressed. The first creative casualty I spotted in the film is that of Miss Rachel. She is never mentioned throughout the film. Instead, she is condensed into the character of Miss Stephanie Crawford, who as a result now plays Dill's aunt. Speaking of Dill, after the summer ends and Dill leaves, the Scout and Jem go back to school. But Scout's classroom scenes are left out from the movie. In my opinion, I think they did this because it didn't really relate to the trial or to Jem or anything like that. Another difference is the casualty of Aunt Alexandra, and by casualty I mean the elimination of. She didn't quite make the cut for the film. This then removes the ladylike issue pertaining to Scout, as well as a bit of Atticus's background, considering she is his sister. The elimination of Aunt Alexandra also therefore removes Francis Hancock, Aunt Alexandra's grandson, and Scout and Jem's cousin. Therefore, the fight that happened between Scout and Francis is now the fight between Cecil Jacobs and Scout. As a result of Aunt Alexandra's removal from the film, the importance placed on Calpurnia in the novel is understated in the film. Calpurnia makes scarce appearances throughout the film. If Calpurnia had been made more pronounced and apparent in the film, there would have been a need for Aunt Alexandra's character in order for her to question and dispute and discuss Calpurnia's way of raising children. However, aside from the creative casualties, there are creative differences. A movie being made up of a collection of actors and actors being people come up with their own ideas. These actors can therefore take creative liberties with the roles assigned to them. For example, the portrayal of Miss Maudie in the film is different than Scout's descriptions of her in the novel. In the novel, Scout painted her more quirky, fierce, and unconventional than she was portrayed in the movie, in my opinion. However, even though characters were removed, they did go in depth on some less touched upon characters, mostly just one character, Scout and Jem's mother. The movie allows the audience to visualize Jem and Scout's mother and actually get to know her. They bring her to life in this film, whereas in the novel she is mentioned in a brief paragraph where Miss Dubose is trying to insult Scout and Jem. But just as characters had to be removed, so did certain scenes and details. For example, Scout and Jem never attended Calpurnia's church, and they never got to learn about their lack of hymn books and the way Calpurnia's preacher preaches. This has removed the possibility of the audience understanding the plight of the African Americans in Maycomb. It also removed the possibility of Scout and Jem understanding their plight as well. Also, due to the time period when the movie was created, the subject of Bob and Mayella Yule's implied incest and trashiness could not be discussed. Another scene that was removed was that of the fire at Miss Maudie's house. The removal of this scene removed the one defining moment of Boo and Scout's relationship. This was the one scene where it went from Boo being the guy with the creepy house and the shotgun and the concrete in the hole to something more. It removed the scene where he places the blanket on Scout, which is a defining moment in the shift in their relationship. Another scene removed was that of Jem's afternoon readings to Miss Dubose, mostly due to its lack of relations to Atticus and the trial, which becomes more prominent towards the end of the film. For the scenes and details removed, however, there was a detail added in. The movie now expanded more upon the character of Tom Robinson and his family, whereas in the novel, Tom Robinson was only there for a brief moment and his children only mentioned very briefly. That is all. Those are all the differences I have spotted in the movie To Kill a Mockingbird from its novel. Thank you so much for your time.